A courtroom decision just changed the future of one of America's most historic short tracks, and it might have saved racing in Nashville, at least for now, because a well-organized push to remove racing from the fairgrounds just hit a wall. And the reason? Not politics, not public opinion, a technical mistake. A judge ruled against the group trying to remove racing from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway ballot proposal. The effort, led by local organizers under Restore the Fairgrounds, aimed to eliminate auto racing from the property and replace it with housing development. But the court didn't reject the idea itself. It rejected how the proposal was written. Key issues: unclear definitions of affordable and workforce housing, and a ballot title the judge said was misleading. Now, the entire petition process resets. That means over 50,000 signatures must be collected again before a strict deadline just to get this back on the ballot. This fight didn't start overnight. The fairgrounds property has been protected for years under a local charter that explicitly guarantees racing stays on site alongside other long-standing events. That protection has been a major obstacle for developers and advocacy groups who want to reshape the land. So this latest push, it was one of the most serious attempts yet to remove racing entirely, and it came at a time when the future of the track was already under the spotlight, because behind the scenes, NASCAR and Speedway Motorsports have been exploring plans to bring major national events back to Nashville. We're talking about a potential return to top-tier racing at a venue that once hosted Cup Series events for decades. So this wasn't just about local zoning. This was about whether one of the sport's most historic venues stays a racetrack or becomes something else entirely. Let's be clear, this ruling is a win for racing, but it's not a knockout. The court didn't say the anti-racing movement was wrong. It said the execution was flawed. That's a huge difference, because strategically, this means the opposition still has a path forward. They just have to do it correctly next time. And now the clock is working against them, requiring tens of thousands of signatures again in a short window. That's not just difficult, it's a serious barrier. Momentum matters in political campaigns, and this ruling just slowed theirs down significantly. But here's where it gets interesting. For racing supporters, this creates a temporary window of opportunity. If NASCAR and Speedway Motorsports want to lock in a long-term future at the fairgrounds, this is the moment to push forward aggressively. Finalize agreements, secure leases, and make the project real before another ballot fight emerges. Because if they wait, they risk facing a cleaner, stronger, better organized proposal next time when that could actually pass. There's also a deeper layer here. This isn't just a Nashville issue. Across the country, motorsports venues are increasingly under pressure from urban development. Land value goes up, noise complaints increase, and suddenly decades-old tracks are fighting to survive. So what happens here could set a precedent. If a historic track like Nashville Fairgrounds can be removed through a ballot initiative, it sends a message to every other short track in America: you're not protected forever. On the flip side, if racing holds its ground and modernizes the facility, it proves these venues can coexist with growing cities. That's the bigger battle. Reactions are already split. Racing fans see this as a huge defensive win. To them, it's about preserving history, protecting grassroots racing, and keeping a legendary venue alive. But on the other side, critics are backing down. They'll argue this is about land use, housing needs, and what best serves the city long term. And because the judge didn't shut the door completely, expect this debate to stay loud. Inside the industry, there's cautious optimism, but nobody's celebrating like it's over, because it's not. Racing stakeholders capitalize on this pause. A long-term deal gets finalized, the track gets upgraded, and Nashville Fairgrounds becomes a modern venue capable of hosting major NASCAR events again while still preserving its local racing roots. The issue fades, and racing secures its future in the city. The opposition regroups, they rewrite the proposal, fix the legal flaws, and come back stronger. This time, it reaches the ballot and passes. That's when racing doesn't just face uncertainty, it faces removal. So here's the real question: did racing just dodge a bullet, or is this just the first round of a much bigger fight? Because the next move from both sides could decide the future of this track for good. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Nashville protect its racing history or move in a new direction? And for more sharp, in-depth coverage of the biggest stories in sports, subscribe to SportsWire USA.